Welcome back to the third part of Excel Chapter 1 in CS 150 Personal Productivity Using Technology with Dr. X. And we are on Chapter 1 of our book Exploring Microsoft Office 2013. And this is the last part for Excel Chapter 1. So you've done well so far. The toughest part is over, which is the formulas. And I hope you've been getting some good practice with the class lab. At this point, I'm going to show you how you can manage separate worksheets and do some formatting modifications for columns and rows. Select, move, copy, paste. Again, I will repeat these since I did this a little bit hastily on the previous video. And then some alignments, like formatting, different type of formatting functions. Number formatting, we've seen it. I'm just gonna show you some more options and then how to print a workbook. So let's get started with our nice spreadsheet that I've been modifying, and you will have a much richer set of modifications by the end of your lab. So I would like to switch back to my past view, which is the no formulas view, and see what I can do with that. So Control tilde brings me back to simple numbers and outputs of my calculations and text. And here's a couple of things to manage your columns. Okay, I've showed you how to copy, or let's say we want to copy a whole column, copy, and then paste it anywhere. And we can use paste special, or we can use pasting and formulas and all these different parts. Now, here's what we can do to delete. Just right click and delete. We can always use the cells that the cell options that are in the cells group in the home tab. So you can see that all of these options are over here as well, and you don't have to right click and have the proper coordination between eye and hand to be able to do these things, because they already exist in the menus. So you can select a bunch of cells and delete them, or do different types of functionality. We can definitely increase or decrease the width of a column by just dragging the column line or a line limit, and therefore we can increase the width. We can also use again the formatting, cell formatting options, and there's even more cell formatting options. Another thing that we could do is change the characters. So this is simple word options. Okay, change the characters to bold, or change the font style, or even use the bucket and fill your different cells. So that's not too bad for a beginner, and using these highlighting options helps you a lot with getting your user to understand how to use and how which parts need to be they need to pay attention to. You can also use borders to show the parts of your spreadsheet that are used, because as you may have seen, if you tried to print your spreadsheet, the borders of your spreadsheet do not show. If we go to print, there's nothing. It seems like these letters are hovering. We could only have printing options on printing the grid lines, and that goes to our page layout. And headings, that's an interesting option here. And the heading options can be found in the page setup, very similarly to where you would find header and footer in when you are using Word, Microsoft Word. And here we go. You can have your nice header and footer, and you can have a custom header. What I really like with custom headers and footers is that I can use these little parts that are called quick parts. And yes, you remember, you have used this before. So I can use, for example, the date in the left section, and you can see that this is a code, and it will always pick the current date. I can use the worksheet name in the middle, and I can also use the whole file name, the spreadsheet file name. And if you click OK, you can see that these take their values, and here we can look at our titles. Actually, we can look at our page, set page view, page layout, and I can see my headers really nice. And if I change the name of my worksheet, for example, you can see that immediately the header changes because it has this special code that is an equivalent to a quick part. So if I want to print both headings and grid lines, going back to Backstage, you can see that it is very feasible to print grid lines without having to include box borders. You can just do this by using these options in your page layout. So lots of similarities, but some good differences also with Word page layout options and font formatting options. You could even see that there are differences in how you would print. So let's say we have a new worksheet and we name it Dr. X, and then we copy all the contents of our first worksheet. This top corner, it's a really cool, fast way to copy the whole worksheet and then use Control C and then paste all the contents here, Control V, and you can see that everything is kept, and even my formulas are nicely pasted, and all the formatting options are pasted properly. And I can start changing things like that's a book by Dr. X, and I can change the I have far too many returns of my hardback books, as you may have noticed. So all of these changes can happen. And what if I want to print again this worksheet? So now in this case I can only print the specific worksheet that I have selected. You can select to print more than one active sheet, like print the whole entire workbook, more than one worksheet, and of course print a selection which can only print a specific selection that you have highlighted with the mouse. Lots of options here. Now you can see in your print preview that you will be printing these two, and on the first worksheet you had chosen to print the headings and the grid lines, so that's how you're going to print this. So a few different options, particularly different with Excel printing, but very similar to Word overall. So that's it with the quick formatting of your worksheet, making it more readable and more clear. So that concludes Excel Chapter 1. And we will continue with Chapter 2 and more advanced formulas in the next videos.